在陕西安康市江北高级中学的校园里，每天都能看到一位非常活跃的外籍教师，用自己特有的方式为学生教授英语，深受学生们的喜爱。他就是来自英国的 Gordon。今年2月，对中国向往已久的 Gordon 携日本籍妻子从大阪来到了地处秦巴山区的安康市，打算在这个山清水秀的地方一边工作一边感受当地的风俗民情。其实早在1990年，艺术史专业毕业的 Gordon 就离开家乡，开始在中东地区教授英语。2000年起，他又远赴日本，在一所私立学校继续英语教师的生涯。如今来到中国的他，已经把四处漂泊的教书生活看作自己生命中不可缺少的一部分。
Hello, Gordon.
Hello, Sunny.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
That is very interesting, and that I want to know who brings you this kind of crazy idea to teach abroad or to be an international teacher.
Yeah, I think it's my own choice.
It's your own choice.
Yes, yeah. I decided that it would be much more interesting to work in other countries and meet other people. Much more fun.
Yes.
So my choice.
I want to know, is that high pay?
No.
Not at all.
No. It's relative to which country you're working in. Generally, English language teachers are not that well paid.
So the Chinese income is not so high, and Ankang is also a small city.
Yeah.
Why
yeah,
do you decide to come here?
I liked Ankang. When people talked, they said, "Oh, are you going to Shanghai? Are you going to Beijing?" And I said, "No, I'm not interested. I worked. My last job was in Osaka, in Japan. It's a beautiful city." But it's a huge city. It's really hot. There's no space. There's millions of people, and there's no room to move. So after 4 years or 3.5 years in Japan, I really wanted to go someplace a little quieter, a little more away from sort of city life. I'm getting old. I don't need to go to nightclubs and go dancing anymore, or I'm happily married, so I thought someplace nice and quiet for a year. And the Hangjiang River in Ankang, it's very beautiful and it's very clean, and so it's a nice, quiet spot for me to spend a year or so and just enjoy teaching.
Yes.
And be quite relaxed about it.
每一次上课 ，Gordon 都把它看作是演员登台表演。精心的准备和课堂气氛的调动，都让学生感受到学习英语的无穷乐趣。
The middle school, the high school, is that also a very easy job for you?
Well, in some ways it's easy because I think the attitude of the students is great. So that's 90% of my job. If the students are sleeping in my classroom, there's a problem.
What is your secret to attract those students?
There's no secret to it. There's no real secret to them. You do want them to speak English. You want them to learn and try and remember the English that you've taught.
So what kind of the way you use?
Well, we use situations is usually a very good way of helping students to imagine that they are speaking English in a foreign country, or they're meeting foreigners in Beijing and they're helping some old person. So usually what we do is we do this thing called modeling. So
modeling,
it's kind of like acting. So I usually take the best student to the front of the class.
Can you give us some examples, just like the handkerchief one or
the handkerchief? Well, the handkerchief is slightly different. That's for I use that for fluency. Sometimes speaking could be a little slow. It's sort of like hi, how are you, and it's mechanical. It's not natural. So a way of encouraging a more natural speech is to take out a handkerchief.
Yeah.
And if you write on the board, hi, how are you? It says it's the same beat. So hi, how are you? So I give them a handkerchief.
Let's take this
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I
example.
can do this.
Yeah.
So the idea is, hi, how are you?
Oh, they need to speed up, yeah.
They need to concentrate, and they forget that they're speaking. They're concentrating on trying to catch the handkerchief, but they speak very quickly to do it. And it's a nice way of practicing fluency and getting a bit of interest.
2000年 ，Gordon 从英国来到了日本，在一所私立英语学校教授英语。4年多的时间里，他不仅对东方文化有了深入的体验，还认识了同样在这所学校里教书的一位日本姑娘。随着时间的推移，爱情在2个人的心中悄悄萌发了。2004年10月，相爱已久的他们携手步入了婚姻的殿堂。
正如高登这段不平凡的异国教学经历一样，他也有着一段非常浪漫的异国恋情。现在就让我们请出故事的女主角香明子。Hello, welcome, welcome to. Please. Ah, it's a very magic thing that a British guy married a Japanese wife. So it is not long ago, but do you still remember the first impression of each other?
Right.
Okay, Kanako,
yes,
from you.
very much. When he first came, he was very quiet.
Quiet.
Yes. Usually a new teacher has lots of questions. And what do I do this? How do I do this? But he was very quiet, and I was thinking, wow, it really it was really a admiring thing. Like usually people have lots of questions.
Like a British gentleman.
But as soon as he started teaching, I can hear his voice outside the classroom, and I was really surprised. Wow, he's really dynamic. Yeah, he was
full
really
of energy.
yes, full of energy. Yes.
So what is your first impression about Kanako?
Well, I remember I was preparing in the back of the office, and she asked me a question. She asked me a question in how to say something in English, and she was just very nice and very gentle. And I was a little nervous at that time. It was a new job, and I just thought she's very, very kind, and I like this person. She's really nice. So that was my first impression of her. I thought she was a very nice person.
Yes.
And this is Thompson. I want to know, your like, who will be the chef?
Who's the chef? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Aye.
It's a modern
You're the chef.
Okay.
You're the chef. I'm the slave, so I will do whatever you want me to do.
Assistant chef.
And you stab the potato several times. You take a plate. You put the potato on the plate. Put it in there.
The microwave.
That is actually very, very hot. It's too hot to this, but if you're very brave, you can. It's a potato.
Is that what Taco tell us the truth?
Seems that you two that just adapt each other so perfect. But I think there should be some difference, because of different cultural background. What do you think the biggest difference between you two?
As a Japanese, I think most people in Japan don't express themselves widely. So we tend to be quiet and then keep it very calm and as if you have no problems, because that's the kind of a beauty as a person, not being too aggressive and not showing anger, but sometimes that makes him really go crazy. Yeah.
Do you think so, Gordon?
Well, I think it's true. I think the Japanese people tend to not hide their emotions, but they keep the emotions within themselves much more readily than Western people do. I think Western people are more demonstrative. They express themselves. They talk about, I'm not happy at this moment in time, or I'm really angry with you. But that can sometimes lead to problems because I can't always read what Kaneko's feelings are. So sometimes I miss it. She could be very angry with me and I just don't know it.
It's your remark. You think you can read her mind? Do you think so? Do you think he do it very well?
No.
No.
No, yes, I
Yes.
think so.
Do you think? Yes.
No.
So.
But at the beginning, at the maybe 3 years ago, we had to. I had to say.
You had to tell
Yes,
him.
tell him.
Can you give us an example about that?
When that was maybe 2 or 3 years ago when we were at the party, and I wasn't feeling really well, and I didn't want to. I just wanted to go home, but it was kind of like all other colleagues are all together, and you have to be there, and he was there. He was having a great time and singing and
Just enjoy.
enjoying, and I pretended to be having a good time, but inside, I want to go home. Maybe in 30 minutes I'm gonna go home. But he had no idea, and so you had to. I had to kind of tell him that maybe I'm going home. And why?
So
What's wrong?
Can you read her mind at that time?
No, I don't think so. At that time, no, I had no idea that she was feeling that.
What do you think of Kaneko's thinking at that time?
At that time, well, I thought she was just very happy. I thought, this is a party, there's music, there's drink. I mean, you know, what's not to enjoy? So I was a little surprised when she said, I'm going home. I thought it was something I'd done.
No. Just.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Yes, his job is a kind of unfixed one.
Right.
You're late to traveling here and there. Can you tell me that till now, do you enjoy this kind of life?
Yes, I enjoy it very much because, like he said earlier on, we can travel, and also we could work as a teacher that we love to do in our lives, and meet so many people. Right now here we are in China, meet so many nice Chinese people, and it's such a great experience for us. And so I never thought of, oh, I wish I were in Japan. I never thought of it.
Yeah, it's okay. We can see that till now that it seems kind of you enjoy this kind of vagrant or traveling life. But now you are young. You two are young, and you do not have child. But in the future, do you think you will go on like this?
If we decide to have a child, I don't think we can. We don't want to carry a baby and go on the train, the airplane. That's going to be a big hassle, I think.
It's too heavy.
That's right.
Okay, put it in the bag.
Too heavy with the suitcase.
You will have more suitcase.
Yes.
So when you have a child, you decided to fix your family.
We hope so. Yes, I think so.
What is your opinion?
Yeah, I agree. I think when we decide to start a family that we will settle down in either the country that we're living in. I mean, hopefully that's what we'll do, maybe travel around and find a really nice place to bring up a child, and then say, okay, this is it, let's stay for 10 years or whatever.